These are the top 5 lineups that I expect top-ranked global players will be using in Squad League this July 2025 season. Let's go ahead and jump right in with number 5. If you are maining Archer Queen this July 2025 season, this is the build that I would recommend you use. For starting abilities, you've got Blazing Light and Coin Stash. Starting characters, Battle Healer and Wizard. For our common characters, we've got Heavy, Poco, and Colt. Rare characters, we have Dynamite, Archer, and Ice Wizard. And epic characters, we have Colonel Ruffs, Leon, and Max. I'd highly recommend you try this out and then try making some substitutions to fit your playstyle. As far as substitutions go, characters on the left of the screen, I would not recommend switching out, that being the Heavy, the Dynamite, the Colonel Ruffs. Characters towards the right of the screen, I would say, are less important. At the end of June, there was a round of balance changes that inspired this build. The idea is, use as many hot shots as you can, start with Battle Healer, and get Heavy as soon as possible so that you have an insane amount of health with your squad. Because you have a massive amount of health and Archer Queen's ability does a ton of damage, and all of these hot shots do a ton of damage, your hope is to just outlast any other squad and absolutely blow them away the longer they try and stand and fight you. This means that you need to get your squad built up a good bit before taking on actual players, but once it is built up, you can absolutely destroy pretty much anyone. Going ahead and cutting to some actually cool clips for you guys to watch. Catch you up, I was absolutely bullied for the next 3 minutes of that round, and this is just going to go to show how insane this build was. As you can see, I was in 5th. Now I'm going in, I finally have my squad built up to the point that I can take people on. Here comes someone trying to take me on. His squad is significantly bigger, but they can't do anything because all of my hot shots are dealing massive damage and have an insane amount of health. So they try and go in, they get cocky or trying to take me out. It's just not working. We've got a few seconds left in the round. They go in one more time. If they were smart, they would just stay away from me. But because they kept trying to fight me, I took all of their gems and walked away with the win. That's one thing that really gives this build an advantage. They see you running Archer Queen and they underestimate you. Highly recommend you would give it a try. At number 4, if you're maining Mortis, we've got a build using Arrow Volley and Blazing Light for the abilities. Mavis and Bee for starting characters. I know, it's weird to use a common character there, but trust me, it's worth it. Poco, Chicken, and Trader for common characters. Dynamite, Wizard, and Medic for rare characters. And Tails, Leon, and Optimus Prime for epic characters. The idea with this build is when someone is on you and they're fighting you, you can tell they're not going to run away. You use Arrow Volley and then you use Blazing Light right before it lands to prevent them from running. And that combination wipes out their entire squad. It works great. Let's go ahead and dive right in. Now the reason we're starting with Mavis as a starting character is so that you can get right to picking carrots as soon as the round begins. If you disagree with this opinion, you can totally have Mavis as a common character and then bring in another summoner, like maybe Tank, as a starting one. I would still recommend you just bite the bullet on those coins and grab Mavis as soon as you can, whether or not Tank and Bee are fully fused. Like I said earlier, the idea is you stand and fight your opponent, send in the Arrow Volley, hope they're not paying attention, and then use the Blazing Light to stun them so they can't get away. I didn't do that combo perfectly right there, but we're going to have a chance to demonstrate it here in another second. Alright, here we are. We've got that squad coming up on us. We use our Arrow Volley. We use the Blazing Light to keep them there. The combination of those abilities wiped out their entire squad, so they were just left with their hero. Our entire squad was still intact, so it was really easy to take that hero out. As you can see, it worked like a charm there again too. Another advantage of those abilities is they recharge decently quick, especially the Arrow Volley. So you can just keep going in and absolutely demolishing your opponents. Alright, let's see if we can get away with one more kill here in this round. We got 20 seconds. If I saw right, yeah, he's got a Sonic, so I don't have super high hopes unless he wants to be stupid. Sure, okay, yeah, you can just stand there and die. I will not complain. It's another scenario where they definitely underestimate you and you can easily take advantage. Alright, coming in at number 3, we've got a lineup featuring Sonic. If you are a player who put their hero points into Archer or Mortis instead of Royale King or Barbarian King, this is another lineup you can use while you work on maxing out those other 2 heroes. Starting abilities, we have Fireball and Blazing Light. Starting characters, Max and Mavis. Same story as last time. If you disagree with starting with Mavis, I would say bring in Colonel Ruffs in place of Max. Common characters, Heavy, Colt, and Traitor. Rare characters, Medic, Dynamite, and Wizard. And epic characters, Leon, Optimus Prime, and Battle Healer. Let me show you how it works. The main idea with this build is because Sonic is so fast and Fireball recharges fairly quickly, you can run in, Fireball your opponents, get out of there, wait for Fireball to recharge, and then go in again. You're using Blazing Light to A, help you heal when you are in a fight for longer than you want, or B, stun them to make sure that that Fireball lands. If you can tell they're going to run away, you stun them and then at least half of their squad gets hit. But that's the main idea. You're just Fireball spamming them and staying outside of their range. Alright, there's going to be a bot over on the right hand side. We're going to go ahead and go in with that Fireball, Blazing Light to get him to stay in place. Get a good hit on that Fireball, and then we're going to finish them off. You can also see with this squad we are using Heavy and we are hoping that we get Battle Healer before we start taking on many players. It's again going with that Archer, Queen, and Mortis idea of let's get a bunch of hotshots with ridiculous amounts of health and use that to help finish people off when we need to. Alright, here we are going in for some real player fights. Going with that Fireball, they're not moving away. We stun them with the Blazing Light, and their squad is gone, and their hero goes down. Looks like there's 2 more of us left, a few seconds as well. Probably not going to clear this lobby, but we have a decent amount of gems. If we just get a few more gems or 1 more kill, we should walk away with the win. Looks like someone wants to try and take us on. That is A-okay with me, and they are gone, tapped out just like that. So, fun build to play. I would highly recommend you give it a try. Let's go into number 2. Alright, at number 2 on our list, we have a lineup featuring Royale King. I'm not going to spend too much time going over this lineup or even showing you how it works a whole ton, because I made a video that was posted on Tuesday, just a few days ago, showing you exactly how it works. So if you want a deeper look at how to use this, I would highly recommend you go check that out. Let's go ahead and get right in. This build is really easy to use. The beginning of the round, you just build up your squad until it's just about max before you take on any players. Then you just find 1 player that you know you can kill. That's all you need, just 1. Try and find 1 that you know you can kill that will get you in first place and then go take them out. As you can see, I've got a few seconds left in this round, so I'm hunting around. I'm only a few gems behind first, so I'm going to go into here and try and get this single kill before the round ends. We're going ahead and chase him down. This is the one disadvantage of this build. You're not going to be super fast, even with Max and Chicken Clones. Alright, we've got someone that's willing to take us on, so we're going to go ahead and get that kill, gather up all those gems, and boom, now we are in first. Easy as pie, just like that. Coming in at number 1 on our list, we have a lineup featuring Barbarian King. For abilities, we have Coin Stash and Blazing Light. Starting characters, Max and Battle Healer. Common characters, Mavis, Poco, and Traitor. Rare characters, Wizard, Frank, and Medic. And epic characters of Leon, Optimus Prime, and Colonel Ruffs. Let's get right in. Alright, you want to start off by building up your squad, getting Max and Battle Healer fused all the way up to Mega. As soon as you've done that, traditionally, you'll go and grab Mavis. I might not do that for this run because it's Loot Goblins. This is one of those game modes where you might have a general exception. Yeah, like I said, normally you would grab Mavis and fuse that to Mega, but because it's Loot Goblins and Dr. Eggman attacks, I'm just going to rely on these Loot Goblins and Dr. Eggman to fully build up my squad. Might grab Mavis later if I have to, but we'll see. Classic loot goblin strategy. Every time it hits 3 minutes, 2 minutes, or 1 minute, you want to be in the middle, get as many loot goblin kills as you can. Now, with this squad, less is actually more. And here's why. Your number one competition is going to be other Barbarian King squads. And when it's Barbarian King versus Barbarian King, literally it's whoever busts the first squaddy will win. So you actually want just a core group of powerful squaddies. And then when you're fighting any opposing squad, you watch for their weakest character, the one that's going to have the least amount of health, and then charge in and focus on that character, take it out first, and then keep going. The reason for this is when you get that first kill, your Mega Punch will likely recharge to full. If not, it'll be pretty close and be ready to go. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to finish getting that Mavis, honestly, just because I accidentally grabbed her. Didn't really mean to. Then I'll get Dynamite all the way fully fused, and then we'll start taking on some real opponents instead of those weak little bots like that one right there. Ugh, folded. Overarching strategy with this build is not very different than Royale King. Really, you only need one good kill and then you can win. Target the weakest and easiest kill that will get you enough gems to take first place. That's all you gotta do. Alright, in a second here you'll see what I mean by less is more in the case of this build. We've got someone coming in down there. They're another Barbarian King squad, but as you can see, I quickly overpower them simply because I was able to kill the first squaddy. You get the first squaddy killed, and then you're just able to steamroll them because you keep recharging your Mega Punch ability. And that's all it takes. All I needed was one solid kill, and we've got this round in the bag. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing to my channel, leaving a like on the video, even sharing it with some of your friends that might be playing this game. I'd greatly appreciate the support. Be looking forward to more of my tips and tricks videos to be released soon. And if you've seen my Wheel Draft Challenge series, I haven't uploaded an episode of that recently. It just hasn't gotten much traction, but if you think you want to see another episode of that, let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to get one out. Bye.